The people that will trickle in will just trickle in when they do. Um, so welcome to Talk Documentary to Me, where we will pull up every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about a new documentary every single week. I'm open to suggestions, co-host. So if you want to suggest something, if you want to be a co-host, feel free to let me know in the stream, or you can click the link in my bio that will bring you to my Instagram page. Send me a message over there. Um, Definitely open to suggestions. Last week's documentary was Tell Them You Love Me. I'm sad that I did not get to record it because um, it was truly an amazing show. We had Rastafari as a co-host. We had Loverboy Romeo as one of the guests in the box. We also had Roger, who was a guest in the box. And Roger's position was very important based off of the type of documentary it was. He has a lot of experience because Roger does have a disability. So he was able to give us some insight on how his experiences has been in the medical field, dealing with family and whomever else with his condition. So it was a really great one, and I'm sure this week's will be just as great. It's just different. Today we will be talking about Fahrenheit 9/11. Um, this documentary, I am very happy to have my co-host Loverboy Romeo, who is also my number one all-time top gifter. He is a vet as well as someone who is from New York. So before we actually get started, I will introduce him, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and we will go ahead and get started. Go from there.
Okay. I tend to overtalk. I'm gonna keep it really short. Hi, I'm Romeo. Hi, everybody. Um, yes, I'm a vet. I'm from New York. I'm on here for fun and to network. Hi, everybody. Cool. That's pretty much it. Oh, I have an auction coming up next month, 8/17, 9/10 Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to come and throw hard eyes, you might win me. Yeah.
Okay, well, we will definitely be there because all of your supporters love you, and we definitely gonna come love on you for your auction. So you mentioned that you are a vet. Can you tell us what your experience was like in the service? Hey,
Yeah.
Rello, thank you for the spotlight.
So first I'm gonna go with joining. Honestly, I didn't know what to honestly expect while joining. It was like we all go off of movies and what we see on shows, etc. And be like, okay, when I'm joining, this is what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go shoot up everybody. Not gonna have the. There's a lot more politics and organization than you think it is. Granted, a lot of it is definitely disorganized, but there's a lot more organization and rulings and etc. than they lead off with. In the Marine Corps, I was a CH-46 helicopter mechanic. I basically took apart the engine and put it back together, ran test cell to make sure the engine was operational, etc. And thank you. And that's pretty much it for as far as that. Until the Marine Corps got rid of that, they phased it out, and basically I had to get a new job, which I became a plane captain for the F-35 Bravo, which is the flight or stealth fight helicopter, which honestly is one of the best things we have right now. But granted, we was the first operational squadron with it, so we also had to teach other countries and deal with other countries, and it's kind of weird teaching British people and they're actually here and they're talking differently. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, you can learn almost any and everything, and it's a lot of ins and outs and a lot of good and bad times. You make it whatever you want to do.
Okay. Okay. Well, definitely thank you for your service. We appreciate you. And so, for those that are pulling up, again, you can find us here every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Talk Documentary to Me. I am recording this show. I am going to try to present it to be featured. So, if we can keep the comments clean, always be respectful because anybody who knows me knows that I do not tolerate disrespect. in my streams on any level. So please respect each other, hit each other up with a fave. Let's support each other. And yeah. So this week's documentary that we are discussing is Fahrenheit 9/11. Now, for the people that are in here, and feel free to jump up in the box if you are comfortable with doing so, or just definitely be active in the comments. But I am definitely open to having you up in the box. So I want to know um, for 9/11. First of all, I know some of y'all a little bit young because I was on my way to work. Some people was like, well, I was going to school and blah blah. Yeah, I was going to work. Um, so I want to know what was everyone's experience like? Like, what do you remember about that day? Where were you? What was going through your mind? I want to know everyone's emotions behind that before we like really jump into the documentary itself. For me, like I said, I was on my way to work. Um, and when the first plane hit and people started talking about it and it was on the news, it was just like, okay, um, that's odd. Like, it's really odd. A plane hit the building. But then when the second plane hit, immediately I knew that we were under attack. Um, the way I felt about it then is different from how I feel about it now, or even just like years to follow. Not even years to follow, within the year of that tragic day, my feelings have changed. But I definitely knew that we were under attack, and I didn't go to work. I called my mom, like, okay, you need to stay in the house. I don't know what's going on, but I do know we're under attack. She didn't think we were getting attacked. She just thought it was an accident, and I'm like, maybe the first plane. I don't even understand how that would be an accident. But when the second plane hit, it was just like clear clearly we're under attack. So I was definitely nervous because where I lived, I was close to downtown Boston. There are a lot of tall buildings. Um, I could look out of my window and see this building called the Prudential Center. Very tall building. So I was just like nervous, like, yo, are they going to be attacking us too? And then later on to find out that the planes that hit the Twin Towers left Boston, I was just like, man, like that's a bad hit. But we do have Willie, and who is also a vet. So yes, definitely box up. You can definitely box up. Request the box. Appreciate you.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, hey, hey.
So shout out to
Thank
the
you
people in the
for
comments.
coming
Rello, I see you
in.
down there, Rello, Romeo, whatever. Raw baby. Yes, that whole documentary pissed me off. Because I
But
watched it again today for the second time, and I'm just like, Bush, really, bro? Like, Saddam was on that bullshit.
But
You
hold
keep
on, hold
giving.
on, hold on.
Oh,
First of all,
sorry.
there's no cursing.
Oh,
There's no
sorry.
cursing.
Sorry. My bad.
So we're
My
gonna
bad.
we're gonna
My
take
bad.
it down a little
My bad.
bit.
My bad. My bad.
So basically, before we hop into the documentary, we are asking people where they were on that morning, what happened as far as like the feelings and things like that, like just taking it back to the memories. So again, I'm trying to get the show featured, so you definitely have to keep it clean, or I'll just have to
I'm fine.
keep you in the comments.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So yeah, so on that day of September 11th, where were you? And you are a vet, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you tell me your experience being in the military? And thank you for your service. We
You're welcome.
appreciate you.
You're welcome.
So
You
yeah,
said my
tell us.
experience of being in the military?
In the military, yes. Tell us your experience about being in the military, and also what you were doing when September 11th happened. What were your feelings behind it, and things like that.
Well, I wasn't in it was September 11th, right? So we're talking about
2001.
2001. Okay, so September 11th, 2001, I was in school. I was in high school at
Okay.
that time. Yeah, I didn't join the military until 2005. But yeah, I was in school. They wouldn't let us go nowhere. It was scary because, like, they was telling us our parents had to come get us, and it's like they was telling us that we was under attack, but they weren't telling us like exactly what happened. So yeah, like everybody was. I was living in Laurel at that time, Laurel, Maryland. So yeah,
Okay.
it was scary because you in high school, you don't expect nothing like that. You hear
Right.
about stuff like it, but you've never dealt with it until you experience it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to now go into the documentary. So the documentary, it definitely was one that angered me. First of all, I want to go back to the election day of Bush being elected and how clearly to me it looked like it was stolen, because he had so many people that he was vibing with, that he rocked with, that was able to help him win this or steal this election. So his brother was a governor in Florida, and I remember them on the news saying that his opponent had actually won Florida, and then they came back and it was just like, oh, JK, Bush won. So when I see that, that's already red flags, like something's not right. He had a lot of people who was able to help him to steal that. And then it was just like there were a lot of people in Congress, especially like brown people, who were vouching for our people and was just like, hey, we have some questions, we have some concerns, and we have some objections. So we want to discuss those things. But in order for it to go forward, they had tons of signatures except for the senators. And you needed a senator's signature in order to have an objection. So with there being no senators who signed, and there were several people who went and stood in front of Congress and was like, no, we're not for all of this. Right. I mean, person after person after person after person, and they all just keep, not one of them. So that was also letting me know, like, okay, this is something that was kind of planned from the jump. So what do you guys feel about that, Romeo?
Well, Wonka looked like he letting it build up. I'm gonna let Wonka.
Oh no, I agree. I was just listening, just shaking my head, like, yeah, because like I said, I watched it twice. Like that, I think that whole thing was a setup. Like it really was, man. It was really played. They played it real good to make that man president.
Well, not only did they play that real good, once he became president, this dude went on vacation. As soon as he swore on several Bibles that he was here to do a job, he went on vacation. And he went on vacation for such a long time. I mean, there was security information that had been passed. They said as of August 6th, which is before the attacks, where it said Obama had planned on attacking us, right?
Yes.
So, Grand Rising. So, well, for you, good evening for us. But it was plain as day for me to be like, okay, if something this serious comes across your desk and you still can go out and you're golfing and you're not really paying attention, like you don't have the country's best interest at heart. That's number one. And then when September 11th actually happened, he knew that the first plane had hit before he even went to go sit down to read books with those children. So the first plane hit, and then he still decided to go inside and sit down and have this book reading with these children. And then the second plane hits while he's sitting there reading to the children. You see the Secret Service come in and they tell him, this dude had the nerve to sit there for even longer. And I'm just like,
it's like he was like this. And then when they told him, he was just.
Yep, the person he made chairman owned the tech company that handled the votes. Exactly. So the person that he made chairman, not only did they own that company, but they had the ability to erase certain votes or to not let certain votes go through so he could win the election.
Fine. Let me grab all my notes.
Fine. Oh, man. I got a lot to say about it, trust me.
Right.
I'm just, doing it like she's doing it in her increments. So I'm just,
Yeah, I'm trying to stick to just the facts and not just like the emotion of it. So I wasn't trying to
yeah,
speak on
yeah.
it. But it was like he lied all the way from even honestly getting in government, but that didn't cover that part. But all the way up until he got to governor, he lied all the way until he got to that point.
He
And then
did.
used his dad's everything to get to where he got to. Even in the documentary, whether the oil field, whether it's been votes, whether
Saddam.
it's
He
been
didn't use his dad for that. The money didn't come from his dad
Saddam.
as far as the oil
It came from
company. That
Saddam.
came from
that
that
came
came
from the Sudati,
Yeah,
Sudan. But
Saddam. Yeah.
however, he got the whole idea from his dad. Everything came from his
well,
dad.
yeah,
Every
he got the
society,
idea from his dad, but his dad didn't fund it.
No, yeah,
So the
yeah.
Arabs
Saddam
and
family.
stuff like that is where he went and he started getting money from them because think about it. They had, I think they said trillions of dollars in
Mhm.
our bank accounts.
yeah, they make
Mhm.
7% of our money.
Yeah.
Right. So trillions of dollars, if you know that they have trillions of dollars, clearly, whatever money that you need for these fake businesses that you want to get up and running, that would be nothing to them. So he had been in business with them long before
Yep.
September 11th had happened. So
Because
I feel like it was always a part of the plan for this to happen. And then when you think about the financial all the financial documents and information that was in the Twin Towers and the building that was across the street that came down
Mhm.
too. It was just like, because the building across the street, that always confused me. I was like, that one hadn't even been touched. Nothing even happened to that building, but for that to come down demolition style, like the Twin Towers, was very, very, very suspicious to me.
Yeah.
His
Because
cousin.
what got to me too is when they said that all of them were sitting in that one room when it happened, and I'm like, that don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Like all the higher ups of that, you know?
But that's the thing though. So like I pointed out about the dad, literally from childhood, he was raised around all these same people that he framed everything on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that he had a problem with, he knew all these people, was raised around these people, ate with these people. Even everybody that helped him like get presidency, like his cousin that changed the vote from Fox News that they did a recount, or his brothers that's the Florida governor. How can you say that's not a conflict when everybody is your family?
Right, right. Are you locked in with, and then he was locked in with Bin Laden before it even happened. You see what I'm saying?
And
And
then
he knew that he was a terrorist, but yeah, he still
but
agreed.
that's the thing though. When did he become a terrorist? They
And
vouched
that's
for him for years.
that's the thing. He was on our payroll. Bin Laden was on our payroll. He went to school at Harvard. I'm gonna have to drop you down, Wonka, because
Oh, I won't then. Okay, I won't. Don't worry
like
about it.
so basically he was on the payroll. He went to school, Harvard University. Several of his family members was here in the country. So it went from him being a terrorist to and all the planes, no one could fly, but they
Except
flew his family out. His
Yeah.
family. So it's just like that makes me think like, okay, so now you sit there while the towers are coming down. Okay, you're not concerned at all. Not only do you sit there, your own father can't fly. Your father cannot fly, who used to be a president before you.
mm-hmm.
And then you set it up so Osama bin Laden's family, all of them, can leave the country. You get them to safety. They're the only ones pretty much in the world who can fly at that time.
Yep.
Mhm.
Not if
I
your
was
own
like,
father was your dad was grounded. The ex
right, your
president was
own
grounded.
father. I was just like,
Right.
yo, that's crazy.
It is.
But it makes sense though. You
Yep.
have a fall goal. Like you already make all these connections, you learn the trade and you find out how to cut that person off. Now you're the middleman that I no longer lead. I'm gonna get you off. Now everybody's looking for you. To you,
And
you
then
don't.
the thing about it, they wasn't even looking for bin Laden. He wasn't
But
even looking for him.
so I'm gonna just play devil's advocate. Let us say, hey, I'm gonna say everybody that you're the bad guy, but I'm gonna help you get away. Don't worry about it. That's literally what that was. I'm gonna help you get away. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna put the
Yeah,
blame
man.
on you. You're gonna go back to your country. We're not gonna be able to find you. We're not even gonna look for you. And that's exactly what happened
But
until
then
they
he cut him off. Then he cut him off too, because you see how the part where they was just like, oh yeah, now they're no longer, cool anymore. Why? Because he dropped some planes on us now, and like you didn't know he was gonna do that.
Right. Yeah, it was just a lot of stuff that it was just like, okay. So I still wonder sometimes, like I ask people whenever September 11th is brought up, like, okay, do you think that was an inside job, or do you really feel like we were attacked by another country? And people look at me like I'm crazy when I'm like, that was an inside job.
Yeah.
We did that. That had nothing to do. Even okay, so when the plane hit the Pentagon, right? That hole that was in the side of the Pentagon, ain't no way a plane did that. For me, that was a missile. It wasn't a plane. It did not take the shape of a building who had been hit by a plane. It literally looked like a missile hit that one area, and that's what caused the damage. So for me, it was like, okay, yeah, you saw the plane hit the Twin Towers. Supposedly you saw, but again, we're living in a world where they can make anything look the way they want it to look. The Pentagon was a really, really bad one, though, as far as I'm concerned. I was like, it does not look like a plane hit. And then, like I said, as far as the buildings coming down, the buildings came down straight demolition style. If you watch any demolition that has taken place historically, every building will come down and it crumbles as it falls.
Yeah.
You know, if the plane really hit those buildings, they probably should have did a little bit of swaying. They probably should have fell to the side, one side or another. They should have never fallen completely down the way that they did.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to go back to the building that was across the street that did not get hit by a plane. There was no plane fuel or anything. How in the world? And even some people was saying that was in the building who survived. They said that they heard explosives going off.
What's going on? Yeah.
They heard explosives going off. And the explosives weren't above them where the planes had hit. They were down below.
And the parking garage, which there's other documentaries they've been showed. There was like actual blow up explosives, like you can see like the flames, and they did the research. It was in the parking garage. Everything. Yeah. That was our excuse. Let's get over there because I already talked to him and he said there's oil over there. We already know there's there. My dad talked to his friends over there, and my dad still has communication with everything.
And what they say?
The fact that I didn't know that W.H. Bush still had all the presidential emails and is still doing business everywhere else. That's what I didn't know. I didn't know that. How are you, the parent of the president, the ex-president, still going over there to the people we're having beef with and saying, hey, I'm reading the emails over there, this is what's going on, and having full conversations?
Right.
No Secret Service, no nothing. You're just there. Nothing. Whatever secrets y'all talk about, y'all talk about.
He was there a lot, too. They was
there a lot. They had so much. It's literally like they were friends. It was not, a business relationship only. Like they were friends. Their children grew up together. Mm-hmm. They hung out and they celebrated different events together. Like they literally were friends. And it started out all about the businesses, but they were locked in. They were definitely locked in.
Yeah.
So another thing for me that stood out with all of this, now we know that anytime they put something out there in the public's eye, it's been happening long time ago, right? So I want to talk about the Patriot Act that came about that Bush signed supposedly to look after terrorist activities and all of these other things. And it's just like, okay, so when something comes in to your desk and you're supposed to look at it, you don't. But now all of a sudden you do this. You're responsible for September 11th, as far as I'm concerned. Now all of a sudden you want to be watching what everyone does and looking out. To me, that was just a way for them to openly say, we are taking your freedoms one by one. Mm-hmm. You are not going to be able to have conversations. You are not going to be able to say certain things. We're going to monitor your money. We're going to do all of these things because for me, I feel like New World Order has been something that has been a plan of theirs for many, many, many years. And they have just been doing things strategically up until now. And they're still doing things strategically in order to get New World Order put into place. Still to this day, I mean, now the presidential election is going on again these years later, and the debates and stuff like that. If you listen to some of the things that they're saying and what they plan on doing, do you guys hear an echo?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not on another device, so I don't know.
I don't hear that.
Okay. I do. I take that out. Anyways, so for me, I feel like this whole September 11th thing was also planned in order to help to take away our freedoms, just to give them the ability to start tapping into emails, text messages, phone calls, or whatever, to track our every move, to see what we're doing with the money and things like that. And it really had nothing to do with terrorists. So what
No,
about the Patriot Act?
I feel like the Patriot Act was literally their way of trying to make us more of a dictatorship. Bush literally joked about it the entire time he was in office. A dictatorship would be a lot easier if I could just rule everybody and just tell everybody what to do. So why make it easier? Let's go ahead and let's see what you guys are talking about. So now when you're talking bad about me, I can send Secret Service after you. Why are you talking about the president? Why are you talking about this? You can't talk about that. And if you continue to, now they'll arrest you.
Right.
I run everything. That's the way they do it.
He talked about dictatorship and war a lot. Like he was just all about war. That's all he wanted was war.
He was war ready.
But okay, so
Yeah.
he was basically raised off of war and money. So war brings in money no matter what you bring revenue off of. No matter what, we need laborers, we'll need workers, we'll need to bring that back. We need mules that will always generate money. And then if we need somebody over there, somebody has to be over here to do all the same job still. So we're not going to lose anything. That's how we're taught about war. That's why even to this day, Trump, let's war. We don't need war, but they think it's more beneficial to make money. Our dollars deprived. And so the value is going down and down. That's why gold keeps going up and down. It's not the gold, it's our value of our actual dollar. Like our value is our value was diminishing very badly. And it seems like we can't get a grasp on anything because we can't get a hold on our government, even though we keep saying we have the power to overthrow, et cetera, et cetera. We're not even educated enough to know what they're doing wrong. They're literally saying everything and coming back with facts and be like, hey, this is it. Hey, the man to the moon. How come the man in the moon footprint doesn't match the man in the moon segment that y'all cut out? And how was it a flag already there when you just landed? And I was confused on how the cameras there that you recorded you landing on them. After a while, people have questions and then, oh, don't worry about that. Now you're conspiracy theorists.
Right.
Because they want to get rid of you, and then now when conspiracy's gone, and then later was proven about 20 years down the line. Oh, you thought I was crazy. Yeah, we don't talk about it anymore.
That's true.
Yep.
I believe the whole landing on the moon, that was recorded underwater.
Yeah. Because what other object can you hit? When you landed on it, it sounded like a big bell. Dung, and it vibrated and rung for a very long time. What soft, inanimate object with no gravity sounds like a bell?
I was just about to say it with no gravity. Come on.
Yeah. So basically, it just feels like our government has been lying to us forever, and everything that they do is all about creating war. And that's why, I'm grateful for veterans to be here. Now, have either one of you had to actually go and fight?
Yes. I fought 3 times. I went to Afghanistan twice and Iraq once.
Yeah, mine was canceled. Lucky.
Now, knowing what you know, because clearly you're older than when you started in the military, because you said when September 11th happened, you were still in school. So I'm pretty sure your mindset was different then versus what it is now. How do you feel about actually going to fight for this country, knowing that historically it seems like we've always fought not for the safety of our country, but just for the greed and for the money?
To be honest, from all my deployments and what I've seen, it's like I believe it's half and half, because it's like they put a label on it saying, oh well, they're fighting these terrorists or they're fighting this, and it's like from what I've seen from the people that we were getting shot at or shooting at, they're just normal people. Like it's like you can't label them. It's like that whole country lives that way. So it's like, you're going against a whole country that has, like he said, no dictation. Like there's nobody to tell them what to do, what's wrong, what's right. You see what I'm saying? So I felt like, I served for my country, but it's like there's a lot of foul play. It was a set, like when we sit in the briefings, and like, I can't talk about some of that, but like when we sit in the briefings, it get real bad, you know. A lot of
So
papers,
Well, I
a
could
lot
talk
of
about
papers were being signed, a
Look,
lot of
I'm a
papers were
fella.
not being signed, so swept under the rug, kind of like, oh, we're not gonna worry about it. Let's just,
Well, honestly, it's the way they word it. That's the way they do it. They basically
yeah.
get you into a mind state of making you feel like there's nothing wrong.
Hmm.
So, like, even for like the documentary, oh, you're going over there to start terrorists. We need to go over there. They did this, they did that. In reality, we're going over there because you have a whole different objective that you're not telling us. In our head, they're attacking our people. We gotta defend ourselves. This is our country. We're Americans, and blah blah blah. We need to go over there. We're here for a reason, and then we run that in our head over and over. As long as I have a reason, I'm gonna fight. I
Just
got
like
a reason, I'm gonna fight.
just
Just
like
for
they tell
home.
you, just like they tell you when you join the army, you're just a number. Because when you leave, somebody else is gonna take your spot. Whether you die or you get out, you're just a number. Just like in real civilian life, we all have a social security card. Why? Because we're a number. That's what we really are. That's your life. You, whatever number. You know what I'm saying? That's you. Can't nobody be you, but you.
That's
And that,
good.
and I don't like the way that the military is because, like, I've been out since 2011. It took me till now to get benefits, now to get help, till now to get treatment. And it's crazy. It's like they rush you out and they just forget about you. That's what they do.
You said 11?
2011, yeah, I got out in 2011. Yeah.
I've been out since April 17, and I'm still trying to get mine. And I've been going back and forth from the VA almost every other week.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what I did, and it sucks to hear it, but it all depends on what location you're in. Because when I came home, I was in DC. I got no help. I came to Vegas and got more help in 4 months than I did in the last 14 years being home. Got my compensation, all that approved months here. So it depends on your location too, and because like Las Vegas is very VA friendly.
And that's sad because I feel like if you guys went and fought for the country, there should be no fighting for your benefits. There should be no fighting for any of those things. Like it should be an automatic, you know, like
They just
you
changed
guys.
it where the VA changed their clause to at first basically if you don't get out with a general other than honorable, they won't see you. But now even if you get out, no matter what cause, as long as you serve, they're obligated to still see you because no matter what, if you shoot a rifle, that's PTSD. And they don't try to recommend that. Like at the end of the day, you never heard that. That's gonna trigger something in you.
You know what the doctor told me when I did my appointment? He said, I'm gonna tell you this. You got PTSD the day you left your home. The day you left your home and you go to get on that bus to go, from there your PTSD starts.
Yeah.
That's what the therapist told me, and that's how I ended up getting my stuff too. He was like, "Yeah, that's PTSD." He's like, "You get it from the day you. It's like you moving into a new house and you don't know where you at."
But the thing is, there have been thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of soldiers.
Mhm.
This is nothing new. It's nothing new that when you guys are I mean, even when you're still in the service, you need assistance. And I feel like that's another thing that is not really offered to people who are fighting for this country. Like you should have services at your footstep. Like you should never have to beg, you should never have to wait, you shouldn't have to, because if you guys are out there fighting for this country, one, your mental health needs to be like top notch, and you're gonna struggle with the things that you've seen, so you guys should be like well taken care of. And then when you leave, like you should not, to see a homeless vet, see somebody struggling for medical attention, all of those things, when I tell you it burns me in a different way. And I don't agree with people going to fight for this country. I don't, because like I said, I know that the country has been sending people to fight for them, but not for the right reasons.
Right.
If we have to defend ourselves, if there's real terrorists or whatever, then, but America also, they don't mind their business. You're going over to other countries to put your nose in their bit. And we got stuff going on here that you're not taking care of. But the vets, number one, I feel like should be taken care of, like right off the rip. So going back to the documentary, because this was something else that I noticed. They took their attention off of Osama bin Laden real quick, and they started to go after someone else who, one, never threatened the country, never attacked the country, never did anything.
And was here most of the time that they was doing all the investigation stuff.
Right here,
with us.
right here in the States.
Talking about I don't know what's going on. It was right here with the president. Let's go ahead and attack them because he went home. That's basically what that was.
That was so sad to me, looking at how they went over there and started bombing that place when that place had nothing to do with anything, and all the innocent people that died. Like, it was that was the hardest part. And Rod did say going forward, and I will have to be very careful about it. But I know that was a trigger, especially the people who have children, people who have been in the service. Like, so I do apologize if it triggered you in any type of way. But it was just like, I don't even have children. And to see those children lose their lives for nothing, that angered me on a different level. And I was just like, it just made me, I can't even say all of the things that I truly felt. But it was just like, how did you guys let the people who you claim to be responsible for this, you just let them get away? And your attention was totally directed somewhere else. And it was just like, once you understood, see, he was playing chess. It was a game to him. Yeah. It was all a game to him. And once you understood that, and it was just like, oh, so it's really about the benefits of what you can get. It's all about money.
It's about who you know and what you can get. Everything's a tool. I'm the governor. How do I get to be president? My dad was already the president. I know these people, whatever. My brother can help me do this. My cousin can help me. My girl / congresswoman / vote counter / everything else can help me. They use their tools. Now that I'm the president, okay, cool. I don't know what to do while I'm here. I'm the president. I'm going to go enjoy myself. I'm going to go vacation. See you guys. Everything's messed up and everybody's taking pictures. Now everybody's trying to hold you accountable. Well, I don't know what to do. Something happens. He didn't know what to do, which I get. A lot of people are very upset at him. How come he didn't? At the end of the day, he had no idea what to do at all. That's like literally somebody walking up to you and you never defended yourself ever, and somebody smacking the shit out. Smacking you.
And then he wasn't even at the White House a lot. He was on the ranch most of the time.
He never knew protocol, period. As far as anything. He never knew what the presidential's anything was. He never knew how to counterintelligence anything. He never knew anything but how to go fishing, how to go shoot his gun in Texas, and how to go meet up with the people that he wanted to blame later on for all his traumas. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he's seen the government uses the military as their tools. Like, even when I was in the Marine Corps, honestly, the only reason why I didn't go to Kuwait and some other places was because your head's too messed up.
Yeah, I've been to Kuwait too.
You said I was an alcoholic, but then later on gave me volume, and which is technically alcohol, sir. You're enabling. But they don't see that as that. Well, as long as you can still do your job as a plane captain and still fix these planes to get the job done, finish your mission. That's how they run off you. Yeah. Finish the mission. We don't need you to go over there and fight. We don't need you with a gun in your hand. We don't know if you're okay right now. But stay over here and finish this out. You're going to work 12 on and 12 off. Hopefully you can make that work. And still feel like a human.
You don't. You don't. When you're over there, you don't feel like, you don't.
It definitely gets to you. Like, you realize, yes, you are a tool. Even though you say, oh, yeah, I'm a person, everything else, they break. The purpose of boot camp is to break you down. Yeah. So that's why everybody be like, oh, you don't get PTSD. No, you get PTSD as soon as you go to boot camp. That's why now they have all these trigger cards and everything else. They're trying to look at the psyche. They've been broke us down.
Mm-hmm. And see, it's different. It's probably different now. I know when I would join, they could be mean to you. See, now they have certain things that they can't talk to you a certain way now. But back then, when we went, they could talk to you however, and they would really break you down. They would.
What was that movie? Saving Private Ryan and
Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. We really was doing that. Being inside the little shoebox and really pushing it around because they would put bleach all over the floor. The base dirty. So
Yep.
you would have about 4 or 5 gallons of bleach all over the floor. You would be inside your locker with all your personal belongings on your bunk, and you'd be having a scuzz brush. A scuzz brush like you would clean your shoes with. And you'd be sitting inside your little chest, pushing back and forth and clean like yeah. And they
I
say
just I don't understand the abuse. Like I don't, because it's all abuse. And I get the need to train you to use the guns. I get the need to train you because you're going to see a lot of things out there. But to me, and I could be wrong because I've never been in the military. I do know people who have been, but it seems as though it's more likely that when you go and invade another country, you're going to be taking their people captive and things like that, not the other way around. It's not common for you to go invade someplace and now all of your soldiers are being taken captive. Yeah, there might be some, there's going to be some, but because you are the one who's going to cause all of the damage, like, I don't understand are they like training you so you don't tell certain secrets, but to be privy to certain information, you have to be very high level in doing certain jobs to get certain information. So when I think of the people that are trained to go and fight these wars, they don't have any of this information. So to be training them on that level, it's just like, why do you need to put them through such abuse in order for them to just go out and be
it's a
fighting?
mental thing. Like I said, if I tell you to do this constantly over and over and you listen to me, no matter how much you hate it, no matter if you feel like this is dumb, this is stupid, I listen to order. You said go ahead and go mop outside, I'm mopping outside. It's raining and I look retarded, but this is my order. I'm sitting here doing it. You learn humiliation and you learn to follow the order. No matter what the order is, no matter if you don't like it, follow it. So now when you are in Iraq, you are in whatever these places, then go ahead and do this. There's no backlash, there's no withdrawal, there's just follow the order.
They even make it to where you can't even contact your family a lot while you're in boot camp, and because they don't want you to think about your family. They want you to think about, look, this is what we need to. This is what we need you to do. You know what I mean?
Okay, so bringing it back to the documentary again, what are other things that stood out to you, Romeo?
Other things that stood out to me. Well, I definitely love the fact that one, he went to Harvard like everybody else did. So he went to Harvard. Everybody he blamed from Osama went to Harvard, and then later on, which I'm not gonna say, not a part of the documentary, but even Obama, which they try to throw back into this Osama and Sudi thing, but they all went to Harvard. So at the end of the day, how can you say somebody went to a Harvard law school that is there to learn law and business is bad for being there in Harvard, for being around the same people learning the same things that they're there for that trade?
Well, if anybody knows about Harvard too, Whitey Bulger was big time mobster in Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
His brother was the president of Harvard University.
Wow.
So when you think about, that saying, birds of a feather flock together, it's just like no matter where you go, even in these universities that are, some of the top notch in the country and things like that, Harvard holds a big name. But when you think of all the people that went to Harvard, it's just like, makes you wonder. First of all, you have to be extremely intelligent to go to Harvard.
Yes.
No one just gets into Harvard like that. Like it's tough to get in. So for all of these elite people and all of these, they named them terrorists or whatever else to go to Harvard, it's just like you already knew that these people's minds were on a different level. So everything is about a business opportunity, and you go here to learn about business and how to move in a business way. And then you start mixing and mingling with people that are crooks, and it's just like, okay, well, we're going to make it work. But we have a Harvard law degree or whatever type of degree that you're getting from Harvard. And it's just like, okay, we're going to make it work. So as far as I'm concerned, like I said, Bin Laden was on the payroll. Bin Laden was on the payroll.
Definitely.
He was a very intelligent man. And I feel like, he was just used as a person to blame all of these things on. But I don't in all actuality think that he had anything to do with it per se, other than his name.
Yeah.
don't even think his name should even been in it. I feel like honestly, Bush forced his way into office, and then he used everybody around him until he was out of office.
Yeah,
Everything, every
definitely.
minute he could to stay relevant. When people didn't like him, we went to war. He didn't even know what to do, but yet we went to war. And we
Hmm.
went to war with the wrong people at that to go to war to go ahead and get things for to benefit United States. You can see my shirt now. Hey, you guys. Hi. I'm. Hi. Yes.
Not your shirt.
Not
Not
yours,
your
sir.
shirt, Willie.
Oh,
Inappropriate.
I thought you said my shirt.
Inappropriate.
Oh,
Walker.
my
Walker.
bad.
Yeah, this
But
I'm actually glad that this is happening because it's letting me know moving forward how I'm gonna move. Anyways, yeah, so
all right.
back to the documentary.
But also the fact that it seems like nothing was ever fact checked. There was never fact checked that there was weapons. Even when we went over there and he's dead finally after 4 years later, which that wasn't even part of the documentary where they killed him.
Right.
So 4 years later, after you let him go away, after we suspect him of bombing the United States, let's go over there for 2 months before we think about even sending somebody over there to go find him.
Yeah.
And then while we sent troops over there, we sent them to other places before we even sent them to go look for him. And then while they're over there looking for him, and now we have people dying over there and going back and forth from everybody talking about war. He's no longer even talking about the person or reason that we are over there for. And then literally came out and told press conferences, yes, the last thing on my mind, we're not even worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely honest, and people still kept trusting him. They kept all faith. This is our president. When did all this faith come?
Did you see Britney Spears with that awful wig on talking about how she supported him too? I was like, first of all, honey, this wig.
That was what she did. Toxic. Got the toxic.
She was very toxic, but she was just like, she's like, yeah, I trust him. I'm like, girl.
Wholeheartedly. But we follow the narrative. If you don't have anything to ever
Yeah,
doubt.
smoking cigars while the Pentagon went down is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smoking cigars outside the Pentagon, watching the Pentagon on fire.
And this is how you know. It's just like they all had that information. They all knew what was going on. They all knew what was going down. There's no way they didn't panic at all. Nobody was literally panicking. Except for the people, the civilians who didn't know what was going on, the people who actually lost family members, the people of New York City, of Washington, or of Pennsylvania, of wherever else that these planes, hit. Those are the people, like the real life people who just did not know what was going on, were the ones that were panicking.
Right.
Everyone else, it was just like, just another day. And it was almost like they were celebrating to me. To me, it was almost like they were celebrating because they knew what was going to come in the near future behind that one day. That one day they knew. And it was almost like I feel like they were celebrating.
That because he was going to
In a
get
way,
pushed
yeah.
out of office. If you look at everything else, they even recounted the votes and was like, yeah, you lost. They recounted the votes and proved that he lost and still was so-called the president-elect. How? And then after that, everybody questioned him. Why are you here? And then we went to war, and then he became the president everybody needed.
And then he didn't want to open an investigation behind it. And then he didn't want outside investigations on it. He was just like, yeah, no, I don't think that that's a good idea. We just need to we don't need to be telling everybody. Like, no, what you need to be telling the people is you're not really investigating this because you knew what happened. And I was just feeling so bad for the people who's going up to the Supreme Court, and they're just like, I need to know what happened to my husband. Like, yeah, I got the autopsy back, but it's not saying like what caused this, what happened. These people were murdered.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So many people lost their family members, and it was just something that was a domino effect. Yeah, September 11th here, it started here, but as a result, other countries, other people had to lose their loved ones. All over greed, money, oil. Absolutely disgusting.
Over plans he had when he was in
Yeah.
college.
What's that?
over plans he made while he was in college and with his colleagues when he came out, when he first became senator and a governor. That's what he did as president. He needed to get hired so he could make his money.
Yeah, so he can make his money. Yeah, because
He waited
now he's got all the now he's got all the leverage in the world he needs. What you gonna say to him?
he waited until he was in a state of emotion. That's what most
Yeah.
people do. I'm gonna wait until you can't think properly. If you're in a crisis, how can you think? You're gonna put trust in something. You might as well put trust in me. But was it a setup? Let me see. He cut off the funding for FBI for terrorism. That was definitely the first one. Then all his friends was the Saudi Arabians. His friends was Sudan, which he later on blamed on. Yeah, like everybody that he was upset with, he was cool with right when he was the governor. Everybody, literally everybody that was in his four quarters, except for his dad. That's the only person he kept around. And if you watch every single press conference he did when they do the countdown, he's sitting there laughing and joking the entire time. No matter how many other news reporters was around him looking sick and miserable, you can see it on their face, like they're laughing. He's smiling and pointing and enjoying himself. Wow. Good morning, citizens. We're here today to talk about your plans for money. Like, it really hurts. Like, honestly, be part of the military and then watch stuff like that. Like, it does bother me. I keep, like, going back and forth. Yeah, that.
No, I've seen a lot of foul stuff. So, yeah. It does aggravate you.
Yeah, like.
Knowing that I gave 6 years of my life for nothing. I mean, I did it for something, but it's like we did it for nothing.
Because it's not seen as, when they tell us the dream is you're fighting for your country. They glorify everything that you do. Oh, you're going to fix aircraft, la da da da. They're not saying, hey, so by the way, it might be a political conflict between each other countries and we just don't like what they said and we might have to do something to them and cause an uproar. Right. But at that point, we went to another country, we did something to them in foreign land. We can't let them do something back to our soldiers or our embassy. Now we got to defend them. Defend what? We attacked them.
Right. Or the recruiter don't tell you, hey, you're going to get bombed every night. Just wanted to let you know, Just wanted to put that out there. They don't tell you none of that. Oh, you're going to go to school. We'll buy you a car. You had money to do this and do that. That's what they tell you when they recruit you. And then when you get in, they disappear.
And when you get out, you don't even have that.
You don't even have none of that. You got to fight just to get it.
On a documentary, I laughed so hard when he was like, oh, you play basketball? You could play for the Marine Corps. They said I could play for the football for the Marine Corps.
Yeah, did you see his paperwork? Did you see his paperwork? His Army Reserve paperwork? It was all jacked up too.
Yeah.
It was getting blacked out. There was places and stuff there that was blacked out. Yeah.
Remember at one point in time they said you had to serve to be the president.
Yeah.
It was proven that he got kicked out or whatever. Then all of a sudden you just have to be
because he didn't want to take a test. He didn't want to take the
ASVAB test.
No, don't you guys have to take like drug tests and all that?
Yeah, it's an ASVAB test. It's an ASVAB. It's to see. You take the ASVAB test, they see what your knowledge is, and then based on your rating is what job portals open.
He was already in. He didn't take a drug test.
Oh, he didn't take a drug test. Oh, okay.
Yeah, failure to provide or whatever it is. He didn't.
Yeah, failure to provide. And then it was like later on that his information was blacked out from the document.
Yeah.
But the person who was responsible for a lot of the things in the documentary, he had the information prior to September 11th. So he had the real document that showed Bush's name, But even like that's just how these politicians are. The president's wives, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't his wife part of like a hit and run or something? Like she was intoxicated and killed someone or something like that some time ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Whoever's in charge runs history.
Yeah.
Who knows? The Mandela effect. If you can't prove it, it never happened.
Yeah. So, but the fact that, they blackened out information just so he could get to where he was just shows you, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really even matter who we vote for or how many of us vote. It really doesn't. These things are already, we have a whole reality TV star who was president once, and I'm pretty sure is about to win this next presidential election.
I don't think neither one of them should be in office.
And you know why?
Of course
Because
not.
of them.
First
they
of
had
all,
Bush.
Sleepy Joe, he got one foot in hospice. Okay, he shouldn't have made it the first time around.
He basically invited guarded people to get in office, and not to mention he used his Condoleezza Rice talking about black people get behind them, and they were basically halfway racist. So I was still confused on why he did any of his co-painting. And then Trump is just very inappropriate. I don't want him to represent America. I don't. That's terrible. We look terrible.
Unfortunately, we have no say in this, to be honest. We don't. Because that was another one that was probably stolen, because I believe Trump would have won again the second term, but I believe that Biden stole this presidential election. But
Trump didn't win. Listen, none of these has been right since Bush.
Yeah.
The only one that we can honestly say has actually won that everybody was upset about was Obama. That's the only one that actually won everybody was upset about. After that, when Obama, he did a second term, we voted for Harambe. Remember the dead gorilla that had died and everybody voted for him? Everybody thought it was funny. We all voted for Harambe. A dead gorilla won.
I kind of want to see a woman run the world for once. I want to see the woman go.
Not the one who's in the White House now, not the vice president, not her.
No, Carmela, whatever her name is. Yeah,
whatever her name is, the one that's walking. No, I'm all set with her.
The Supreme, the black judge, the black Supreme judge. If she can get in office, I believe yes.
I mean, I think I'm gonna run next year. Next 4 years, I'm gonna run.
Michelle would have did good.
You mean Michael? But that's another time.
Yeah.
Basically, we only have 4 minutes left. I do want to thank everyone who pulled up. I appreciate you for coming through for a talk documentary to me where we talked about Fahrenheit 9/11. For next week, we're gonna flip it a little bit. The documentary I want us to all watch is The Secret.
The Secret?
The Secret.
Okay.
And this whole entire week, I want you to focus on something positive and practice manifesting. Just one thing every single day. Manifest this one thing. Start small. Don't be manifesting, I'm going to have a mansion by the end of the week. Like, let's not do that. Start with something small and watch this documentary. The Secret should be all over the place. Like, you should be able to watch that on major platforms, smaller, YouTube, wherever. But it's pretty much about the powers of the mind and how powerful it truly, truly is. So I think that would be a good one for us to watch. And before we dip out, Romeo, tell everybody where we can find you, what you got going on.
Well, you guys, sorry we got the end of the show. My head's a little messed up still. But so I have an auction coming up, 8/17. It is what's the theme again? It's gonna be all the Queens Men. Like the stripper, like the dancer show. It is all the Queens Men, so I don't recommend you come, Wonka. I appreciate you, support me from there. But anybody else you wanna come in, throw coins, little hard eyes, I appreciate it. I do go live randomly. I am the streamer. I do support a lot also. And I'm trying to get back into the tech streets, not really, because, I'm an introvert, but hey, we'll see how it goes. All right. Back to you, Sin.
Thank you. Wonka, you got anything going on?
Willy Wonka, you can catch me whenever I got the support challenge in Rutto Live this Sunday. And I'm also bringing back the Vent Room next Tuesday, 8 p.m.
All right.
Huh?
I'm glad you're doing the Vent Room again. I'm glad.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing it back. I'm not gonna stop it. Moving.
Okay, so that's where you can find them. You can find me streaming randomly. You can catch me Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern, and Coco Melon, Top Badge, Coco Melon's stream for Slang With Me. And then again, you can find me here every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a talk documentary to me. Again, this week's documentary is called The Secret. So make sure you guys tap in. And other than that, I appreciate and love you all. And well, actually, I'm about to go on featured show. And